So here's the promised crochet tutorial video for the Punirunes, and I decided to condense the two tutorials into one. Since they do share some similarities, feel free to skip to the part that you need. And as always, I don't want to talk too much, so without further ado, let's get started. No matter if you're crocheting a case for a normal size Punirunes or the Puni Commu, we start off with a magic circle. The yarn I'm using is just this very normal yarn. I can show you guys the specific information here, and I'm using a 2.5mm hook. Start with a magic ring. So you put the yarn, the shorter end, over your finger like that. You wrap it around and form an X on the bottom, and then you lay it over your finger like that. And I try to like hold it with my middle and my ring finger. Then I grab my hook and I go under the first loop like that. And then I get the yarn that I'm holding with my middle and ring finger, get that yarn, pull it under through my first hoop, and then I fetch the yarn I'm holding again and pull it through the loop I just created. Like that. And then you should be left with something like this. Into this magic ring, we will crochet 7 single crochets for the first round. So this is how it should look like once you have crocheted your 7 single crochets. And you can count them by counting the V's: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Once we've completed the first round, we can take the tail end of the yarn and just pull it to make this little circle. That is our base, and then we can continue with the second round. So for the second round, I just like to use like scrap yarn that I have from other crochet projects. I will put it here under my working yarn that I'm pulling with my finger constantly, and just put that like in between the yarn. And now for the second row, we want to do increases, and what an increase is 2 single crochets into 1 stitch, and we do that 7 times. When you're done with this round, you should have 14 stitches. We'll continue. We do 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch 1 increase. So we're crocheting kind of this part of the crochet case for now. For the next round, we want to do 2 single crochets and 1 increase, and we continue with the 5th round, 3 single crochets and 1 increase. When you finish the 5th round, you can see that it's almost the size we need. For the 6th round, we'll do 4 single crochets and 1 increase. So for the next 4 rounds, we'll be doing only single crochets every round. And now that I've finished my 4 rows of single crochets only, kind of need to change the pattern a little in order to crochet around this hole. The way I like to do that is a similar way to the Tamagotchi Paradise here. And so we've come to the end of the 10th round, and then we chain 1, we flip our piece, and then do single crochets again. Just to give you an idea of how the case would fit, we're currently here at this point, and so we've done the whole 39 single crochet, chain 1, flip, piece thing 4 times now. And for the 5th time, we'll change it up a little bit because we need to make a hole for the ball chain. And the way we do it is you chain 1, you flip your piece as always, and then we only make 1 single crochet and chain 6. We have the 6 chains here, and then we skip 6 stitches. All the stitches we will skip and insert the hook into the 7th stitch. Get the yarn and make 1 single crochet, and this will be the whole of the ball chain. And then we'll make 31 single crochets until the end of this round. When we're done, we chain 1, flip the piece, and crochet 39 single crochets. And once we reach that loop, we make 6 single crochets into that loop, and that's how it should look after that. So that's how it should look like, and then you have a hole for your ball chain as well as for your finger. As always, we'll chain 1 and flip this piece and make 39 single crochets. After you finish the round, you want to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and here's where we'll join the other side. We'll go into the first stitch on the other side and single crochet 1. Then from here on out we'll make 38 single crochets and then follow up with single crochets until we reach that part again. So this is the second last round, and in this round we wanna crochet 42 single crochets. So for the last round we'll do 1 decrease and then 40 single crochets. And in order to make a decrease, you go through the front loop once and take another front loop like that. You fetch the yarn, pull it through both loops, and then fetch the yarn again and pull it through both hoops on your hook. And that makes 1 stitch out of 2 stitches you have. And yeah, and from here on out we just continue until we reach the end of this row. Okay guys, so I reached the end of the last round. I'll take out the stitch marker real quick, and now we can cut it, weave in the end, and then we're basically finished. I've never experienced one of my cases opening up, so I don't think that I need a very long tail, but that's basically enough to weave it in. Then I'll take a crochet needle like this one, and then I'll try to weave it in. And when you're done with that, you can cut the end. I like to still let out like a small piece. And now let's see how it fits. I hope it still fits well. If you're taking the crochet case on and off a lot of times, it could cause the opening of the case to be kind of loose. So it's definitely not perfect. It could be a little bit tighter here, but if I make it tighter here, it will be more difficult to put the case on the device itself. That's why I thought this was a good compromise. So for the crochet case, for the normal size Punirunes devices, you just want to follow the tutorial for the Puni Commu crochet case up until the 6th round. So you should have 42 single crochets, and from there on out we can continue making the case for the normal size Punirunes. So I just finished my 6th round, and now you should have 42 single crochets. Since the normal Punirunes is, as you can see, a lot wider than the Puni Commu, we need to make a few more rounds before we can go over to the part of the case that goes around here. We make 5 single crochets and 1 increase. For the next round, we'll make 6 single crochets and 1 increase. And now for the 9th round, we'll do 7 single crochets and 1 increase. So now that the back plate of the crochet case is big enough, we will start making the single crochet rounds until we reach this point here. For the next round, just make 1 single crochet into every stitch. So now we've kind of reached that part where we would have to start to crochet around that hole. In our 16th round, we'll chain 1 and flip our piece, and then we make 58 single crochets until here, and 5 stitches should be left out. So I finished the 58 single crochets, and now it looks like this. Again, we chain 1 and flip the piece and continue all the way to the beginning of that stitch, so 58 single crochets again. So in this round, we'll make a little hole for the keychain holes. So first chain 1, and then we'll make 7 single crochets, and we'll chain 4 and skip 4 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and continue making single crochets until the end of the round. So I reached the end of this round. Now we'll again chain 1, flip this piece and crochet all the way until the end, and that should be 58 single crochets. So when we're crocheting into this whole part, you can do it like this, just crochet 4 single crochets. Now after you've made the 4 single crochets, we just finish that round and make 7 single crochets until the end of the round. So for the next round, we'll chain 1 and just go all the way around again. So 58 single crochets in total. So once we've finished round 23, we will chain 6 and join the other side. Now we want to join the other side, so you go into the first stitch of the other side and join that with a slip stitch. So that's how it would kind of look like as of now, I think. So from here on out, we'll crochet all the way till the end. So for the next round, you want to do 63 single crochets all the way until you reach the end of the hole. And then it should look something like this. And from here on out, just make 63 single crochets again. So for the next round, because we wanted to make it a little bit tighter, we'll crochet 31 single crochets, and after that we'll make a decrease to accommodate for, you know, the roundish shape of the device. And when you're making the decrease, pay attention to only go through the outer loops of the stitches so that it's as seamless as possible. Then we'll fetch the yarn and fetch it again, and then 30 single crochets until the end of this round. So after that round, we'll make one slip stitch to join the next round. So let's make one slip stitch in here to join the other round. Then we'll make 30 single crochets, one decrease, and again 30 single crochets until we reach the end of this round. For this next round, again we'll join the other round with a slip stitch, and this time we'll make the decrease directly here at the beginning. And now we'll make 59 single crochets until we reach the end of this round. So that was the last round, and now we'll cut the end off, weave in the tail, and that's our crochet case then. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that it was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave that in the comments down below. The crochet cases aren't perfect, like this part here, for example. So feel free to make any improvements and share that maybe in the comments. Hope to see you next week when I am posting a very exciting video, a little sneak peek here. But until then, I wish you guys a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and hope to see you next week. Bye!